Case numbers, positivity rates, deaths, and hospitalizations have become the go-to metric for tracking the severity of the C-19 pandemic. But one symptom of the pandemic impacting those who have had the virus and who haven't had the virus proven more difficult to quantify. Hey, what's going on, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for joining me. The topic of deteriorating mental health has proven more difficult to quantify. Perhaps because of this challenge, it's been largely absent from the messaging and response of public officials. It's well documented that the C-19 pandemic has been proven to take a serious toll on our emotional well-being. Rates of depression and anxiety in June were 3 to 4 times higher than the corresponding point in 2019. According to the CDC, the deteriorating mental health outcomes have been similarly observed in nations across the world, among them UK, India, and China. Rates of suicide, substance abuse, alcohol consumption are rising steadily. The connection is even stronger than you might think in the US. As a number of new cases of the virus fluctuate from week to week, our mental health data available from the Mental Health Household Pulse Survey run by the CDC offers a week-by-week estimate of the fraction of Americans who are experiencing symptoms of anxiety and depression between April 23rd and July 21st. Comparing this data to the week-to-week US C-19 cases over the same time intervals reveal that there is an unmistakable trend. The evidence of depressive or anxietous symptoms among Americans are almost exactly mirror the trajectory of the US C-19 curve. It's clear that the rampant spread of the virus is having a major effect on mental health. Overall, the pandemic has raised Americans' baseline levels of anxiety and depression. You may have heard of the terms mental breakdown or nervous breakdown. You may have even been guilty of using these terms more casually. This term is no longer used as a clinical term anymore by the medical community, and a nervous breakdown is not considered a mental illness. Instead, it's generally viewed as a period of time when an overwhelming amount of stress affects an individual's ability to function. This stress can be physical or mental, and the symptoms of the mental breakdown can suitably sneak up on you and grow out of control over time. If you don't catch these signs early enough, you could potentially spin out of control. So to help you better understand your mental health, let's catch the early signs and see if we can figure out together if you're having a mental breakdown or not. Sign number 1, if you're having a mental breakdown: you sleep too much or you don't sleep enough. Do you find yourself suffering from insomnia? Do you spend your nights tossing and turning with no relief? Maybe you're getting too much sleep. Does your alarm go off and do you think to yourself, I'll just lay my head down for 1 more minute? Then you wake up and next thing you know, it's 5 p.m. Who hasn't had too much sleep at one point or another in their life, right? Most often, I enjoy personally sleeping in 1 day a week. But if you're doing this too often, it might be a problem. You may potentially be using sleep to escape reality. Sleeping seems much easier to handle than the difficulties of reality. Or maybe you begin to exhibit symptoms of insomnia because your brain is too overactive at night with stress. You could be playing out situations or scenarios in your head that you're stressed beyond belief about. Try starting to unwind right before bed. Odds are you've heard of this before, but a good book, a cup of tea, some meditation is a great place to start if you can't sleep. Less stimulation is better. Just don't turn on the TV and start watching it, or get out your phone and start scrolling beyond belief. You gotta understand that you have to wind yourself down in order to calm down. 30 minutes to an hour before bed. No phones, no electronics, no exceptions. Sign number 2 that you might be having a mental breakdown: you show excessive signs of anxiety and depression. This is one of the most common signs that you're having a mental breakdown. Showing symptoms of depression or anxiety have had you feeling tense and tight and dizzy all the time. You might find yourself ruminating on stressful ideas or situations, or maybe you find yourself suddenly crying for no reason. All of a sudden, you're feeling these intense emotions. If you're already suffering from anxiety and depression and you notice your symptoms are worsening, these could be a sign that your mental health is maybe breaking down. You're having significant amount of brain fog. What the fuck is brain fog? I get it, brain fog. It's not a medical condition. It's a term often used when somebody exhibits several symptoms related to their ability to think. Perhaps you're having a difficulty concentrating, or maybe you've been extremely indecisive or disoriented these past few days, or maybe even weeks. Even memory loss is a symptom of brain fog. The third sign that you might be having a mental breakdown is poor hygiene. Are you looking like a homeless hipster that just attended a full moon drum circle? Do you suddenly find yourself neglecting your personal hygiene? This might mean that something more is going on. Poor hygiene can be a sign of self-neglect. You may just feel that you don't have enough energy, or you feel the need to actually take care of yourself much anymore. The lack of hygiene can be linked to depression or mental disorders. It's best to recognize that something's wrong early on so you can get help and get your ass clean. Number 4, withdrawing from social events and friends. Have you found you're just not into hanging out with your friends this weekend, or next weekend, or the following week, or the month after that? Maybe you tried getting together with your friends on a Saturday and the task of getting ready is just too painstakingly hard. Well, withdrawing from your friends, family, and social events could be adding to your potential mental breakdown. Honestly, guys, humans need to socialize, and it's part of our natural genome. When this is compromised, our mental health can definitely pay the price. Try getting back to socialization slowly. If you find it kind of difficult, reach out to friends through text, share a funny video, insightful video, maybe even this video. Isolating ourselves is one of the biggest mistakes we can do to our mental health. After this video, call your mama, and if it's severe, call a mental health hotline if you need stronger support. And share this video with your Uncle Tony.
Tony the science guy.
The last thing you want to do, guys, is isolate. So don't isolate. Sign number 5 that you might be having a mental breakdown. You're eating too much, or maybe you're eating too little. Sudden changes in appetite can be a sign of stress or depression. Stress hormone cortisol can suddenly cause us to crave certain unhealthy foods, high in fat, high in sugar. So when you're feeling extremely stressed, you bust out that family-sized bag of potato chips and that tub of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. We can overeat on a bad day every now and then, but when it becomes an every single night thing, there might be a problem, and you might be suppressing some stress that you need to confront. Remember, we may be neglecting self-care due to stress or depressive emotions, which means we might not want to put the effort in preparing a healthy breakfast or dinner. Be aware of this and try to tell yourself that simply spending time doing self-care and prepping food for you is actually a good thing. Try taking some deep breaths as you put your dinner and cut your veggies and make that extravagant meal for that beautiful date with yourself. Guys, if you found value in this video, besides sharing it to your Uncle Tony, go ahead and share it with a friend. Go ahead and smash that like button down below. As always, be kind, rewind. Peace.